Yo, 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 this is Jason at Grand Slam Sports Cards and Comics in Loveland, Colorado. I am the owner and manager of the Loveland store, and we also have a store in Greeley as well. Welcome to the Comics Month in Preview. This is a little show that we're going to be using to talk about books that are solicited at the month of November that are going to be releasing in the month of January of 2021. Actually, so we're moving on to the next year. Congratulations, everybody who made it through 2020. Marvel and DC have a really cool slate of some comic books, so I'm going to talk about some of those. The first thing I want to talk about with you all is Future State. Future State is a large event that is coming out for DC comic books. And what's going on with that is they are going to be suspending the normal books that you would see coming out, and they're going to have an alternate future version stories of different titles. The catchphrase is, "It takes you beyond tomorrow." So I'm not going to go into too many different details. There are a ton of different comic books that are coming out. Most of your normal books are being suspended and being replaced with a normal one. So, for example, the first one I'll talk about real briefly is The Next Batman. There's an issue 1 and an issue 2 coming out. And each one of those are kind of anthology books. So they're going to have 3 different stories in each of them. And the books are going to retail for about $7.99. You'll have 3 different stories in each of these following the future of Batman or the Outsiders in each different one of these books. There's also a new series called Dark Detective, which I believe is also featuring a different variation on Batman as well. So each one of these is set in a future time. I know in Gotham City there's some type of force called the Magistrate that's taken over, and so all these, your classic Batman universe characters are going to be fighting back against all of that. We also have a book called Immortal Wonder Woman, which is a future where Wonder Woman is basically still alive. Most of the other superheroes have moved on, but this is a future where Wonder Woman is really the only superhero that's left from the old days. So very intriguing type of book. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. There's also another book called Wonder Woman that is actually going to be written and drawn by Joelle Jones, who's a very popular artist. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that book. Now, this whole event is only going to be going on for 2 months, so January and February, and there's probably going to be 20 or so different titles. If you come by the shop, we're going to try to have a checklist ready for you so you can be able to try to order these books. And we'll try to do pricing along with that as well. So if you want to reserve any of these Future State books, this would be a good time to do it. Another DC series that is going on is called Batman and Catwoman, and we are soliciting issue number 2. Issue number 1, I believe, comes out in December. This is the Tom King official continuation storyline of his 100 issues that he wanted to do of Batman before he was asked to leave. This book looks fantastic. I'm a big Tom King fan, and they're finally giving him his avenue to kind of finish the storyline he wanted to do with Batman and Catwoman. Moving on to Marvel. Marvel's got some really exciting stuff coming out in 2021 of January. First off is we are continuing the King in Black. So I'm not going to get into too many specifics on this series, but King in Black is a big Marvel event featuring, it's basically, I've been telling people it's Thor and Venom kind of doing their crossover. It's all the stuff with the God King Knoll situation, and it's kind of a continuation of some of the Absolute Carnage event that came out in the summer of 2019. I am assuring everybody this is going to be a big event. So much so that in the solicit guide, we have almost, I'm just browsing through it, it was at least 15, 20 books that are coming out in January. So if you're interested in King in Black, if you are wanting to get all of King in Black, it's going to be quite a commitment. But there's a lot of things that are going to be coming out of this. I've even seen it crossing over into Daredevil. There's going to be a Black Knight comic book. There's a Gwenom book. So, I mean, this is going to be an all-encompassing event for Marvel that's coming out in December and January. So people are very excited about these books. I also have several number ones I wanted to talk about for Marvel that were of note that I wanted to mention. First off, we have Non-Stop Spider-Man. That is a book that has art by Chris Bachalo, one of my favorite artists and a really renowned artist for Spider-Man in the past. So definitely check that out if you're looking for another Spider-Man ongoing story. Another very popular fan favorite character is Iron Fist. There is another miniseries of him coming out, and that'll be starting in January. So I would recommend checking out a little Iron Fist action as well. There's a new X-Men book coming out. So we just got done with the whole huge Hickman event, and now we are moving on to back to normal with the X-Men universe, where we have all the X-Men doing X-Men stuff. But there is a Children of the Atom comic book, which appears to be, the tagline in it is kind of like, these are the sidekicks of the X-Men. So we're not quite sure what exactly that means, but it looks like it's going to be in the vein of a book like New Mutants, or how New Mutants used to be. So there is a new X-Men book coming out in January. And then the other major book coming out from Marvel is Star Wars High Republic. So some of you might have heard about this in the past. Star Wars High Republic is the new era that the Star Wars and Disney multimedia conglomerate is trying to really do some content building in. So it is outside of the Skywalker saga, and it is before the prequels. It's going to follow Jedi and other characters from those years that were before we really have any content or knowledge about. So it's an exciting time. People are really looking forward to it. Issue 1 comes out in January. One last note for Marvel. During the month of January, they're going to be celebrating the fact that they have bought Fox. As some of you know, Marvel bought Fox. I shouldn't say Marvel bought Fox, but Disney bought Fox as part of the acquisition. They are able to get Alien and Predator. Alien has always been under Dark Horse as long as I've been a comic book reader, and now it is under Marvel's control. So starting in January, we're going to be getting some really, really, really sweet comic book covers of Alien versus Marvel. And, you can take a look at some of the art here. The two notable ones that I immediately saw, there is a Alien versus a Wolverine cover, which looks fantastic. And then there is a Venom versus an Alien cover, which also looks great. The really cool part about these covers is that they are print to order, basically. So if you want those covers, all you have to do is ask us and we'll get them for you. A lot of times with variant covers usually come as a ratio. So I need to order 10 of one book to be able to get one variant. But in this case, this is a order as much as you would like. So we're trying to get your input to see how much of this we should order. I believe there are 19 different covers. And I have a feeling that these are going to be very highly collectible, highly sought after. People love Alien. They love that franchise, and I think they're really excited to see it in the Marvel Universe. It's only a matter of time before we see Aliens versus Marvel kind of, comic book as part of an event. Definitely let us know if these are books that you would like for us to pull for you. All you have to do is order them, and we can get them in your hold file. Two more books I wanted to talk about from the realm of comic books. I like to do a lot of independent books. I just wanted to comment about a couple of them. We have one book called Monsters from Barry Windsor Smith. Barry Windsor Smith, classic artist. He has done Conan the Barbarian. He has done work on Wolverine in the past. Very famous for the Weapon X story arc. Barry Windsor Smith is a comic book legend, and this book called Monsters is a graphic novel that he has supposedly been working on for 35 years. I'm very excited for this book to be coming out. I believe it's a hardcover, and it's going to be about $39.95 a book. If that's something you want to check out, I would definitely highly recommend it as an independent book. It is from Fantagraphics, so make sure you ask us about that. There is also yet another new series coming out from fan favorite Terry Moore. Terry Moore, very famous for Strangers in Paradise, very famous for Rachel Rising, and is now releasing a book called Serial. This one, if I read the synopsis correctly, is about a girl who is 10 years old that is trapped in, or she's in a 10-year-old body, but she's been around for 50 years. It's a little, so it's a little science fiction-y, little fantasy horror, but basically she's been trapped in this body and is a serial killer out of it. Eventually she escapes, and now she's kind of trying to live her own life, but I'm sure it's going to be hard for her to escape the realm of being a serial killer. The last thing I want to talk about is our Grand Slam Holdfall program. If you're interested in getting any of these books I've talked about, you can start a Holdfall program with us. All you have to do is come in, give us a name and a phone number and an email, and we'll get you set up. What you get for that is you get these books reserved for you, and by doing that, you're going to get discounts on those books. If you get 3 books or more, you're going to get 10% off all the books that you are pre-ordering with us. If you get 10 or more books in 1 month, you'll get 20% off all those books that you pre-order with us. So that's our loyalty program for comic books. Just because if we know what we want to order, if we know what you want to order, then we can get those books for you. And so we can make it a little cheaper on your pocketbook. And who doesn't want a little savings right now? So that's our Holdfall program. You can always call us. We can get you set up. And that works at both of our stores. So you can have a Holdfall at Loveland or at our Greeley store. So I want to thank you all for tuning in to this first time video. We're starting up a YouTube page at Grand Slam, so make sure you like and follow us. We'll be doing more content like this in the future. I'm not quite sure. It's going to be all sorts of different flavors. We're going to do comic books and board games and sports cards. So check out this page if you like anything in our store. That's kind of what we're about. We promise we're going to be bringing more content. Eventually we'll have live videos as well, doing sales on comic books, sports cards, maybe collectible card games in the future. And let us know. And if you have any questions, maybe there was a comic book that I missed out on. Previews isn't particularly a brief book. It's easy to miss out on a lot of new titles. So if there was any books that you were like, hey, Jason, maybe you should talk about this, please comment below, and I will definitely take a look at those. So thanks a lot, guys, and I hope you guys have a great day.